Hello there, my little goblins. We're here with another little fishy deck. We got sharks this time for you. And I know we're doing a lot of ocean-themed decks, but guess what? That's what the new pack's about, so deal with it. So what do we get new from the fishy pack? Abyss Shark. Card's crazy. Lets you search for a shark. Also lets you special summon. Pretty good. Also, additional effect that lets you do a lot of damage to your opponent if you attack a monster. Pretty good overall. The next new card is going to be Crystal Shark. Again, another really good card. You send it to the graveyard. It can special summon itself from the graveyard. Another extender. The next card we're going to look at is Nash Knight. And then this Nash Knight. So these cards are just board breakers. So if you go into Nash Knight, you can take one of your opponent's monsters, suck it up, attach it to this card. And then you can go into this Nash Knight. And then this Nash Knight, you can activate its effect to go into this, which is Silent Honor Dark, and then you could suck up another opponent's monster overall. But yeah, the whole point of the deck is you board break your opponent, and yeah, you just overwhelm them. And I thought this deck, I'm not going to lie, I thought this deck would be a lot better at OTKOing, but I find it very hard to one-turn kill your opponent. I don't know if that's just a thing with me, but I really don't find it very easily to do that. Like a lot of times, you can break our opponent's board, but just killing them after that, like killing them the same turn, doesn't seem very super likely. I don't know. Just look at these cards. I mean, you can't. The damage doesn't seem there personally. But we'll talk more about it on the recap. But let's get into the games, and you guys can see how the deck performs. Hello, we're here for game number 1, and we are going second. A lot of times we're going to be going second with this deck, so it is what it is. So we're playing against Flo, and Flo is a menace to a society right now. But we have Ash Blossom, and they don't have Call by the Grave, which is a good lucky one for us. I'm very surprised my opponent doesn't have Call by the Grave turn 1. It's usually what the case is, but we end up top decking Imperm, which is definitely going to be extremely relevant. They're going to Ash Blossom us in return, but that's completely fine because we have Silent Angler for backup. Typically with Layfish, you either send Right Hand Shark to the graveyard, or you're going to be sending that Crystal Shark. Crystal Mommy Shark is what I call it. Just because it reminds me of I don't know if you ever heard of those things, like crystal mommies, like they're the women who like believe in crystals, healing crystals and shit. I don't know. I thought it was funny. I'm also stupid, so totally awesome is gonna suck up that lightning storm. Good, real good sucking. I could go for a good sucking. I'm sure you guys can go for one too. So Strix is going to try and banish, and yeah, we're not going to let that happen. We're going to imperm our opponent. But you see what I'm saying, though? Like, it doesn't seem like... I know our hand was kind of like, against Flo. But, yeah, it just doesn't seem like we can really, like, one-shot them, if you get what I'm saying. Now we can. We top deck Buzzsaw Shark, and we have this Bombment Shark. So the right play is here. So if we did anything other than Bahamut Shark here, this game would have got a lot more annoying to play because you would have been able to fully combo off. But so once you start the main phase 1, first thing you should do, Bahamut Shark, because then they don't really run that many traps. So this is an imperm. Guess what? They imperm the shark, and then you could follow up with Buzzsaw. That's like best case scenario. Worst case scenario is you play the Buzzsaw and then he activates this and now you're fucked. You lose the game. So the way the triggers work, before he can activate Rabina, I get my Totally Awesome, and then he just scoops because I was about to take his Rabina. So gee. Hello, we're here for game number 2, and it's against Flo again. What a surprise. But our hand's actually pretty good too. He's got a Dimension Shifter. He's pretty much activating the whole piece here. Kind of annoying. He looks at the top 6, and the fact that he grabs Designator tells you a lot. So he's going to play Eagland, I'm going to play Imperm, and he's just going to cross out. Wah, wah. That sucks, doesn't it? Doesn't life suck sometimes? Yeah, we're fucked. Pretty much. Pretty boned. I personally would have just scooped, but I think my chat was telling me to play this. So I was like, you know what, let's just keep playing it. He didn't have Rabina, which is actually really good, because then that he can't follow up with Crystal Barrier, which was a concern, definitely. And it really depends what he top decks off of this end pen. But he ends up getting the field spell. But the thing is, with the cards that he had in his hand, he can't actually take advantage of the field spell. So I'm just going to Lightning Storm the field. He flips up the Dreaming Town. Again, like, this is not very good, right? Like, he goes into Avion, and then he goes... So, this is why it wasn't good. So, I know you guys weren't really paying attention, but the first time he summoned Strix, he banished his Dimension Shifter, and since no cards have gone to the graveyard, there's no way he could double summon and go into Avion. That's why I was like, okay, kind of odd, but okay, I guess. So I actually think the correct play for him to do there was to activate the stupid fucking thing here, just so you can send the field spell, just so you can send Rabina to the banish zone, just so when he does activate this, he can combo off. Because now I get to do whatever the fuck I want, which to me is sounds like a pretty good deal. So we're activating that new Abyss Shark, which grabs us our Buzzsaw Shark. We're going to go into Stealth Kraken. We have to set it in defense, because remember, Empen will negate its effect. We don't kill any of these. And he ends up going it. So this is another big misplay he does. So he goes into Lyceric, which is honestly fucking really annoying for me. I kind of wish I popped one of these, but he goes into Lyceric, which is automatically he's going to be able to go into Zeus, right? But he's fucking greedy. He's a greedy fucking goblin, and he goes into Downward Magician. I'm just like, okay, pop. So I thought that was funny. Speaking of Flowandereeze suffering, this guy is named Delete Flow. So he's playing Lilal. So he's playing Live Twin, which is fine. Honestly, I felt pretty good this game because I had Called by the Grave. So if you guys don't know, Called by the Grave is especially good against Evil Twin, because when they try and activate their Sunny, you can just Call by the Grave the Sunny and then they're fucked, right? So our hand's actually looking okay. I don't really need the Droplet, so the Droplet's kind of like a dead card. But he sets a card and then he passes. I'm like, alright. Well, we have a Abyss Shark too, which is fucking crazy. We activate Buzzsaw Shark. He's going to Ash Blossom the Buzzsaw Shark. I don't use Call by the Grave, because using Call by the Grave would just be bad in this situation because he still has the Live Twins. So I summon the Abyss Shark. We can search for our Remora. And then we go to the Stealth Kraken. Stealth Kraken's going to be able to force this Sunny activation. And now we can actually use Call by the Grave. So now we're kind of like not too much in a pickle, I would say. But we're a very dominant position in my opinion right now. So we attack for 19. And now there's definitely a debate here whether or not I go into Zeus and just pass turn. But I decide to just not and just set Droplet instead. Our opponent goes into Kiseki. So if you so this is another interaction. I want to point this out to you so you guys don't make a mistake. If you pop this while he's activating this effect, what happens is Lilal comes into the field, right? And then since there's no Kiseki, Lilal's effect will activate and it'll summon a Kiseki. So wait until they get summoned and then you can pop one. Okay? Now if I wait, now again, if I wait until he goes into the link, he can bring back one of the link monsters from the graveyard. So you're better off actually just popping one of these immediately after they're summoned. Alright? But then he ghost ogres my fucking stealth kraken. Which is kind of tilting. Which is, honestly, it negates the Kraken's effect. And then Kraken, I was about to summon my two stealth Kraken spawns, right? Which should honestly be pretty fucking useful too. And he just called by the graves it. So now I'm just really fucked because my opponent had called by the grave on the right card. I had called by the grave on his right card, but he's also out hand trapping me. He's got Ghost Ogre, he got Ash. Now I have to droplet this Kisakeel, otherwise he's gonna fully sunny me, and that's probably not worth it. I discarded the Silent Angler. I think that was, and then we get Ashed again. So we got Ashed, Ghost Ogred, then Ashed, then Called by the Graved. And then on top of that, we play White Mirror. We grab our Buzzsaw Shark. We are going to activate Buzzsaw Shark. Oh wait, no, we don't even activate it. He ends up piece of killing and then popping with Lilo. Then we normal summon Buzzsaw Shark. And then when we activate it, he imperms it. So we have to play against Ash, Ghost Ogre, Ash, Call by, Imperm. We're already 5 hand traps in. So yeah, we're pretty much in a very, very losing position now. The other option was to grab Silent Angler with the White Mirror, which would have, we would have been able at least to go into a 4. And if we were able to go into a 4, we possibly could have just gone into... I'm like thinking right now what we could have gone into. If we go into a 4, right? I think our only hope was be going into Bahamut Shark or going into Silent Horror, and then attacking one of the attacking the blue guy, because he would be able to special summon Kisakeel, and then sucking up Kisakeel. So I think that was the play. I don't know what they top decked, but it's pretty much a lost game at this point, right? You're just going to take a buttload of damage. But I really do think that was honestly the play. A lot of thinking involved when you start playing against shit that's this try hard, especially when you're not running as many hand traps. Like, we literally, I'm starting to notice is like if your opponent just has the right hand traps, you just lose the game. And unfortunately, that's kind of how it goes. Hello, everybody. We're here for game number 4. We're playing against Saki. And Saki is going to be playing a deck I showcased the other day, which is the Yumi Control. This deck has been getting very popular. I've seen so many creators making deck profiles on it now. I think I uploaded a deck profile on it, and then literally like an hour later, I see, or a few hours later, I see the DK Master Duel Meta have one too, and then I seen a bunch of other people upload it too. I was like, damn, like man, everyone's just going on this deck. But I think it's because it's taken the ladder by storm, and it's definitely kind of fresh and exciting. But we go into Bahamut Shark. So this is a nice thing about playing against this deck. If you're playing fishes. If you're playing any water-based deck, Yumi Control does not do as much to you as other decks. It's actually kind of a detriment, because now you have Stealth Kraken, and you know when this card becomes the little stealth ones? These cards can pop water monsters, so I don't know. But our opponent is just going to go into their turn, and they're going to concede because there's really not much he can do. Like I said, his main win conditions aren't working against me. Like the Ocean Lord, like it doesn't really do anything against me. It's just a 2000 normal monster at this point. Stealth Attack really doesn't do too much to me. Again, I have the Kraken. If you can't out Kraken, guess what? It's going to be a pretty bad game for him. Hello, we're here for game number 5, and our opponent is as smelly as they are sweaty. They're playing Sword Soul. Why are you playing, dude? Like with all the fish cards out and stuff. Why are you playing Sword Soul? Like, come on, come on. We're gonna imperm the Millier though, and then he just passes. So he really had nothing else going for him there. So we're gonna activate the Silent Angler, Abyss Shark, Stealth Kraken. And then we are Gucci. Now, we could have done other plays there, but I actually think this was probably one of the better plays we could have done. No, it's not. It's definitely not one of the better plays we could have done. Our opponent evenly matches us, so it's actually a pretty good thing we didn't build a massive board there. Because if we built a massive board there, our opponent would just fucking played on us with the evenly match. But he goes in the Monk Tenyi. So here, I'm like, okay, we're gonna pop this Tenyi because I don't want him, if he has Vishuda in hand, I don't want him bouncing the Kraken. But it was just not the right play because now he's gonna Sword Soul Emergence for Taya. You should always just wait because if he has the Vishuda, he's gonna be able to bounce it regardless. So, I don't know. I think it's probably just more of a risk him having like a tie or a Moye to follow up with. So it probably would just make more sense to do this instead. So now we're kind of in a tough spot here. Again, he's comboing off pretty hard at this moment. Let's just speed through this because this shit is boring as hell, right? Sword Soul, more like Resident Sleeper Soul, right? So he bounces back my card. What a surprise. And then he plays Protoss. Yeah, we pretty much fucking lost. I should just concede right here. My top deck evenly matched, so I'm like, okay, well, evenly matched. Pretty good card right now. We banished both his cards, and then we play Silent Angler. Just because that thing is 4,000 attack. If he has anything else, I kind of want to preserve my life points. Plus, we have White Mirror, which will prove to be pretty useful for a follow-up. So we're going to play White Mirror on the Angler. He's going to call by the Grave the Angler, which is actually very good for us because that means that call by was going to be devastating. If I played this Buzzsaw Shark, I would have got blown out of the game. So very good I did not play it right away. We go into right-hand Shark. We go into the Silent Honor arc. We're going to slurp the shit out of our opponent. And then we attack for 21. And then we go into Zeus. So if our opponent can out the Zeus, we probably just lose the game. But remember, Buzzsaw Shark is one of the best cards in our deck. It's pretty much like a one-card starter. He's going to activate Moye. We see that he only has Moye in hand. And then we just board wipe him. And it should be pretty good GG after this. We're just going to combo the fuck off right here at this point. Here comes the Kraken. And then we're going to BM our opponent a bit by just special summoning a bunch of cards and purposely just taking damage. You always have to BM your opponent when you get a win like this. Because there's no fucking way we should have won that game. I have no idea why on this beautiful earth why he did not keep Protoss. He keeps Protoss, we probably just lose the game. Hello, we're here for the next game, and we are playing against Goddess Aqua. There's a Water Enchantress here, a D5 player. Pretty crazy. So crazy. Well, we got Obama Shark. Totally awesome. This is pretty much... We typically don't really want to be going first, but if we go first, Totally Awesome is a fine play. And then we get Kaiju, so... Well, it is what it is. When your opponent... Oh, then he has Called by the Grave for... Sometimes they just have everything, right? But I'm not like really that bothered in this position. Like I said, he actually is like kind of dumb because if he called it, the thing is he's not dumb, he's just ignorant, right? That's what it is. Because he called by the Grave, he should have actually hit Crystal Shark. Way more important card. I guess that was a good call by the Grave either way. Eh, never mind. It was a fine call by the Grave. I just personally probably would have hit the Crystal Shark. Crystal Shark's really strong. Oh wait, no. This isn't the dumb part. You're gonna see the dumb part coming up. That was a fine play. That was a fine play. I don't know why I was like blinking out. I was like, that was actually a fine play. Why did I think that was stupid before? Now you're gonna end up finally seeing. So our opponent goes into Zeke, right? He's gonna banish the shark, which is whatever. Alright. He gets rid of his token, which, okay, thanks. I don't have to deal with it now. Thank you. And then he pops, which honestly, the fact that he found anything was still kind of lucky, because he's definitely running more than, if he's running Reasoning, he's definitely running more than 40 cards in the deck. And then he goes into Shizuku, and then Shizuku finds Shark Cannon. And he activates the Shark Cannon to get rid of my Totally Awesome, which is, again, fucking perplexing to me. Because if he got rid of this, I would be fucked right now. But since he didn't, now I can combo off, go into Sea Stealth Kraken. Kraken pops the Shizuku. And then boom, and then boom. And now we have a very strong control here. Now, I do make a misplay here. So he plays Reasoning again. Sends a... Damn, it's a good thing he didn't draw that fucking Harpies, huh? That would have been fucking rough. So he summons his own Gamer Seal. He plays... So, when he played the Ray, Striker Ray, I should have activated Kraken, right? And then pop Ray. Because then Ray would have activated its ability, and then I could have just called by the grave, so he wouldn't have access to any of his links anyway, right? So that was definitely the right play. I was because even if I waited for him to use this airspace, I was being, I think, a little too greedy with Kraken's ability. But yeah, we're gonna call by the grave the Ray, and yeah, he's kind of fucked here. There's really not much else he can do. If he tries to run any of his cards into my monsters, I can droplet. And yeah, he's over. GG. Hello everybody, we're here for the recap. But before we get into the recap, I just want to say thank you for watching the video this far. Please consider subscribing. It helps the channel out so much. And we come up with content that's like this all the time. And we also do tournaments, so join the Discord if you can. The Discord's always in the description. Now let's get into that recap. So, how did this deck perform? First of all, before I say anything, the deck is a lot of fun. I think the deck is definitely a lot better having the Abyss Shark, having Crystal Shark, and I think it definitely needs some looking at with some of the maybe some of the ratios. Maybe I don't have 100% right, but other than that, I feel like the deck really didn't brick much. We're playing against hyper competitive people who are playing like the best of the best decks that they can find online, and they're also using like 60 hand traps, so it just gets kind of rough sometimes, especially if you're an unlucky person like myself. You end up finding your opponent always has the answer. How did the deck perform regardless? Well, when we first started the stream, we climbed from D5 to D4, almost D3 very quickly. So we climbed like almost 2 ranks very quickly, and then we went on a pretty decent losing streak. We started losing 2, winning 1, and then eventually we actually de-ranked back to D5. So I'm just being honest with you guys. We did de-rank back to D5, and I believe at the end of everything, after all the dust is settled, we had around like a 64-65% win rate. I'm not 100% sure. It could have been 60%. Either way, it was above 50%. It was just a little... it started off strong, like a 90% win rate, and then it teetered off. But I think it's all matchup dependent too. Like, if I'm winning coin tosses or losing coin tosses, I think that really depends. And a lot of the times, we would run into... A lot of the losses we actually had, we weren't running Lightning Storm or Harpies, right? And we kept playing against back row deck, and they would turn 1 either play Summon Limit, or turn 1 play there could only be 1, and we just instantly lose the game because we had no outs. Like, the only outs in the deck was evenly matched. So the Lightning Storm Harpies definitely, I think, is needed because if you do play against a back row deck, remember there's no game 2. So like you kind of have to take advantage of the fact there's no game 2, and I think running these board sweepers definitely helps the deck out. Now, what do I rate it out of a list of 1 to 10, right? 1 to 10, I'd probably give this, again, a good 7.5. 7.5, 8, probably around the Yumi control era. Because like I said, I 100% believe you can climb with this deck to Diamond 1. It's just going to take you a bit longer than if you're running like a tier 1 deck. That's all I'm going to say. And if you're talking about tiers, I'd probably put this at like the tier 3 deck. Maybe 2.5. It's still powerful. It has powerful tools in it. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to show off the Nash Knight combo. But trust me when I say it's powerful. The only unfortunate thing, the only cards that can actually summon the Nash Knight is Buzzkill Shark with Abyss Shark or Crystal Shark. Those are the only cards in the deck that actually can summon it. And I don't know if you guys know this, but a lot of the games I play Buzzsaw Shark, my opponent would effect veil or imperm it. So if this card is impermed, it actually can't be used for a level 5. So sometimes I would have a level 5 on the field, right, to go into Nash Knight, but I wouldn't have the Buzzsaw Shark because it would be negated. So it's kind of unfortunate. I actually don't think I was able to go into it the entire night, and that was like 20 to 30 games, I think. It was a bit of games. I don't know how many games exactly. It was like 3 hours of games, but we weren't able to actually go into it, so that's kind of unfortunate. It would be pretty cool, but like the idea behind this is you suck one of your opponent's cards, and then you can, and remember the sucking actually gets around like the Mirror Jade, which is actually pretty nice. So if you're playing against branded, you don't have to deal with the Mirror Jade's blow up effect. So you can suck it up with Knight, go into this Knight, and then use this effect to go into this Knight. Now remember, this effect at the end of your opponent's turn, it destroys this monster. But guess what? When this card is destroyed and sent to the graveyard by any effect, you can, if it had material, you can special summon it. So you can bring it back, and then this card back on your turn can keep sucking. I also wish this card was a quick effect, so you can activate on your opponent's turn. But maybe that would be just too powerful. But honestly, for how, I guess, difficult it is to summon, you know what I mean? I feel like that wouldn't be like the worst trade-off. It wouldn't be like super broken. I don't know. It'd be pretty damn strong though, you know? But I hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know what you guys want to see next. I take it very seriously when you guys leave it in the comments down below. So let me know. I hope you guys have a good one and enjoy the weekend. Goodbye.